Hey everyone, Dan here. We are doing Power Hour on Tuesday, July 20th. Today we're going to take an updated look at a wish. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, ideas. These are not investment or trading advice. Do your own due diligence. Make your own decisions based on your own risk to reward ratio and situation. All right, so Wish is having a great day today, up over 7% at the moment. What we're looking at here is the 2-hour chart. If we pop over to Swaggy Stocks, we see Wish is, what is this, the 6th most commented on stock on Wall Street Bets, almost 5% of all the comment volume. Very positive sentiment in general, 52 positive comments versus 10 negative. So definitely retail driving a bunch of this interest today, it seems. Now, I wanted to point out potentially a few catalysts and a few areas that could be working in Wish's favor as the days progress. Things that potentially I would be looking for in order to establish a pattern to be able to make trading decisions off of. So one of them here is, I wanted to take a look at if we were to get an extension. So if we were to treat this as one impulsive move, and then this is one retracement, and see where that left us from a fib extension perspective, that might give sort of some idea of where to look for price targets to the upside in the near term. So if I go and do this away, all right, and basically look at like the 100% retracement level here. So right now it's butting up against that 23.6. We'll see if that has any consequence, but 1424 would be the 100% retracement, which if this is actually going, extension, if this is going to actually follow a fib extension sort of pattern, then that is the level that I look for my true fib extensions to reach, that 100% extension level from the most recent retracement low. Now, that said, there could be additional exit points as you get through here. I do think this 50 level, not because it's the 50 level, but I do think that area, has potentially a lot of stickiness to it, meaning there could be a lot of buy and sell pressure coming in because of all of this previous price action and all of this previous support and resistance that we see in here, various areas of support and resistance throughout that whole zone, basically stickiness in the $11 area. And then popping up above that, right around where this 1215 is, there's previous topping out here and here as well, and then supports just above that area here. So, there's going to be some zones. Obviously, it's not just going to parabolically shoot itself up there, but those are some areas that if it can get stickiness there, it is, in my opinion, just a good sign because it's obviously going through toward those upper level price targets. Now, on the indicator side of things, what I'm going to be looking for on the MACD, we already have a bullish crossover, all right? And it's just now approaching the baseline with the MACD. It's just inching over it. And so the question here is it going to get a bunch of pushback like we saw here previously when it made attempts toward the baseline? So obviously this is already an improved push after this, long-standing sell-off here. And it's been making, on the MACD line, some higher lows and now a nice bullish crossover. Keep in mind, though, it did have this bullish crossover here and then came back and sold off even more, making, from a price perspective, lower lows than it had previously. So that's still always certainly, a possibility and a threat, if you will, to contend with. So I would just keep an eye on the MACD. Does it continue to increase the real estate between the MACD and the signal line? Does it continue to push over the baseline with strength and not start to curl back down? And if it does, can it bounce back off the baseline again? So that's what I'm really looking for from the MACD. From the RSI, it's starting to get up there above the midline. The midline, to me, super important in this situation, especially if you see here previous attempts over the midline, we saw it pull back. And even on this run, we saw it pull back before it was able to push back through. We see the midline, it got pushed off here, it got pushed off here. Even this area is close enough. Yeah, that is the midline, it's 50. Got pushed off there. And in each of those instances, then, it came from oversold, couldn't breach the midline, and then got pushed back to oversold. Couldn't establish and hold over the midline, and then it got pushed back down into oversold. And then here, it made its most recent best attempt, but again, couldn't establish over the midline. Now, we are in a situation where the RSI is now peaking. It has breached these previous topping out zones that it had, all the areas in the low 50s. So does that mean that it can now sort of be out of the woods? Definitely could be. I would keep a strong eye on it, but if we get a good run into the 60s, that could indicate that there's sort of a lot of pressure that's going to be coming in, good buying pressure peaking up. And then, the next question is going to be, after it comes out of the overbought territory, can it come down and also hold the midline and make another run into overbought? Obviously, if it's going to make a big enough run to get into the 14s, it's going to have to bounce into overbought several times without going oversold. So that's what I'm going to be looking for from that end of things. And then on the MAs, it is established right now just over the 50, so it does have the support of the 50. I'd love to see the 20 curl up pretty strongly here and add additional support. So if we can get the 20 crossing over the 50 while the price action is still above it, that would be a great additional area of support for it to continue to push off of. And then we might see this MA200 coming in to the same area as this box, this potential resistance box, at the same time frame that the price is reaching it, if it can make that run up into the 11s. So that might add additional downward pressure from the current bearish trend that Wish is in. Now, the thing that I really think it's going to need here is volume. So we see, obviously, the price is running up nicely today, but the volume, I think it's going to require a lot more volume. It's really going to push up. So almost 40 million so far today. Again, we're about half hour from market close, but the average volume for the last 3 months, over 60 million. So I don't think we're going to get there today and even reach the average. And I think in order to actually see this price move up, I would want to see these big green days be also in conjunction with at least reaching that average volume that we saw in the last 3 months, ideally surpassing it. In the 70s and 80s of million would be much better to see, in my opinion, to feel that the buying pressure and the buying volume is truly there in order to keep the price from plummeting back down. Now, the order flow, we see a bunch of large outflow today, actually, while there is really solid medium and small inflow, but still, even those, the medium outflow is still outpacing and the small. So we do see this is probably largely driven by retail, it seems, and the question is going to be, of course, can that maintain itself? There are a couple of news items that potentially also bolster it. I didn't open this to see what it is, but you could have a look at this Investor Place article, which I don't know if this how clickbaity this title is, but buy ContextLogic stock now to double your investment by the end of 2021. Keep in mind that's only like 4 or 5 months away, so it's pretty hyperbolic headline potentially. But maybe they have some good reasons why in there. There's this unusual options activity, which is a bullish sweep. Call options at the $10 strike, which is just under where we are right now. The volume over double the existing open interest with a pretty close in expiration date of September 17th. So less than 2 months out, and just about at the money. But the volume to me is really the thing that's interesting on that one. That's a huge volume compared to the open interest for these sort of at the money or close to at the money call options. It looks like when they were purchased, the stock price moved up to 952. So at the time, they would have been out of the money to the upside, obviously. So interesting sort of situation at the moment on Wish. We'll see how it plays out, but just keep in mind it has made moves. You see this move here, you see this move here, and you've seen recently this move here. So don't sort of get too carried away, in my opinion, with a couple of nice pushes up. It could easily pull back and retrace further than previous swing lows as we've seen in the recent past. So I would just be cautious and sort of take into consideration all of these different factors, indicators available, news catalysts that are available, and just kind of make the best decision that you can with the info that you have. All right, well, thanks a bunch for watching. I hope your trading week is off to a good start, and I will see you in the next video.